Hey, welcome everybody, Trap Souls Podcast. I'm here with Andy and Jeff from Cryptic Investigations of Appalachia. Trying to get these guys on for 6-7 months now.
Yeah,
Life, family, everything that happens. Finally got them on. I'm excited about this one. I mean, we were talking earlier.
Yeah, we are. Thank you for having us on.
Hey, not a problem. Glad you're here. I mean, yes, paranormal, cryptics, they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you believe in ghosts, spirits, whatever, you kind of have to believe in Bigfoot. I mean, it's the unknown. Now, does that go both ways? Like, as a paranormal investigator, obviously I'm interested in the unknown. You know, you guys hunting, going out, I don't know if you guys call it hunting, but Bigfoot, cryptids, do you believe paranormal?
Yeah. For me, it is.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you.
No, I've had my own paranormal experience with Bigfoot, too.
So we're going to talk, where are you guys exactly based out of?
We're in Southwest Virginia, in Smith County.
Smith County?
Yeah.
Not close, not far from Bristol Motor Speedway.
No, about an hour away.
About a mile away.
That's our claim to fame, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking at what's going on here. So what got you guys in? I mean, obviously paranormal. You have an experience, so you want to go start investigating it. What got you guys into going out there and trying to find all this?
Just trying to find answers to what happened to us, really. Because we didn't find out till later on that we're distantly related.
Okay.
On my dad's side. We had no idea. Dad had told me about him having his own experience and kept saying, you know, y'all need to get together and talk. And we had messaged back and forth, you know, and between work schedules and everything, we just couldn't make it happen. And we finally decided, you know, we was going to start going looking around, and we went over to his place first. And we walked into a pretty new booth that night. Yeah, we had some fun that night, but you know, we started over at his place. We hadn't gotten to mine yet. Mine's a little bit more complicated to get to. But it was more or less just trying to find answers to, you know, what was happening to us as kids.
What happened as kids?
Well, you know, I was age 12. And, you know, that age before, you know, I thought I knew everything. And then a friend of mine was building a turkey blind to get ready for spring gobbler season. My dad, he didn't have a clue where I was making it at. He just seen me coming out of the woods, you know, coming down the road, and he finally asked me where it was at, and I told him, and he said, you know, you probably want to stay out of there. You know, he said, there's just something up there you don't need to mess with. It's kind of about all I could get out of him. Well, of course, we didn't listen. Well, I went back to finish it, and there was no bears at this time. There was a lot of bears around here then. We're talking probably 1982, maybe, I'm thinking. So bears around here was non-existent. So I went up there to finish it. It was just about done, and I heard a limb pop. I mean, you know, really loud pop, which kind of caught me off guard. You know, I looked at my watch, and I knew it wasn't time for Dad to get off work. So I thought, well, maybe it's my buddy playing tricks on me, so I just kept on. And then I heard another one. And, you know, so I had a little single shot 410 with me, you know, like it was going to do any good. But, you know, I grabbed it, you know, and kind of hollered out, you know, all right, come on, you know, I'm going to start sending lead. Never heard nothing else for about 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden, the laurel bushes just started to spread apart the top. It sounded like a train coming through it. And I was just like, what in God's name is coming through this thicket? You know, whatever it is, I don't want to mess with it. So I turned tail and hauled it, got down off the bank, and I don't know, I probably made it 50 yards down off the bank, hit the creek. And I went back, and the only thing I could see was from the waist down, it was kind of a grayish brown. But it was 2 legs that you could plainly see. And I was just like, oh my God, still didn't know exactly what I was kind of dealing with. So I took off and run down the road. Well, I was coming down the road running by the time Dad was coming home from work. All he done, he's like, yeah. He said, you went up there and found out the hard way, didn't you? And I said, yeah. And I said, what in the heck was that? And he said, I've been trying to tell you for years there's a Bigfoot up there. He said, it's been up there since I was a kid. He said, it's just one place you don't go. That's before I got mine started. That was just kind of wanting to try to find answers.
Okay. Andy, what got you to this?
Well, mine was a little bit more exciting. I guess I'm not saying that wasn't exciting. I mean, it was just I never heard of no Bigfoot or nothing like that. Maybe a passing thing, but nobody's seeing anything. I'm parents, kin people, and people around. It just didn't. It was a joke. Is basically what it was. But I live back off of the road quite a ways, and we live in a pretty rural area. I mean, we have small towns, but don't really have no big city. The biggest city close to us is Roanoke, and it's not even a big city. But anyhow, I live back up in the mountain, and we surrounded by forest, and we was the only house around there. And whenever I was little, I was probably 3 or 4. So this is probably 1983, maybe 84. But we didn't have only indoor plumbing we had was running water. I mean, we didn't have no toiletry or nothing like that. So when you had to go to the bathroom, you went outside. And anyhow, one night I got up and everybody's gone to bed and everything. And I got up to go pee. Of course, being that little, I'm not going outside. I'm just going to the door, just to pee right out the door. Uh, but anyhow, I always went to a certain door when it was nighttime because I could look out and see if there was anything in our yard or backyard. And I when I was little, I had this terrifying phobia of bears coming out. Too many killer bear movies and stuff like that. So I was looking out the window to make sure there wasn't nothing out there, and never seen nothing before then until this night, and something was blocking the window. I stopped to look, and I'm like, I can't see out the window, and I'm trying to look around, figure it out. Now I didn't turn no lights on or nothing like that, but all of a sudden this thing bent down and looked into the windows with these red, fiery, like a coal or something, orange reddish eyes looking right at me. And I took off and run back and screaming and hollering and jumped in bed with my grandpa. And, it woke everybody up, and, they ain't nothing out there, Dad went and looked, there wasn't nothing. And you just dreaming and stuff like that. But I wasn't dreaming. I mean, I was very vivid, very real. And then, this was in the springtime, and then it was either a year later or the same year, but in the fall, because my cousins, my sister, and stuff, we had some family come over to visit us, and we was out in this big old hayfield we had, and it'd been mowed and the hay put up and everything. We was playing that, and it was right at dusk dark. You could still see, but it was getting pretty dark, towards dark, and down off where our road come up the hill in this holler. There was something standing down there watching us play, and it was dark black. I mean, both times I've seen it, that's the only thing I can really tell you is it was black looking, and man shaped. This thing, that was standing down there, we just stopped playing. It's like, what's that down there? What is it? And everything. And it had red eyes watching us. And probably, seemed like 10, 15 minutes, but it probably wasn't that long. It was probably just, maybe 30 seconds at the most. But this thing started walking off, but it would walk, you could see its head would keep locked on us. And then it walked over to our fence and it just stepped over the fence. It didn't, bend the barbed wire down or nothing. It just stepped right across it and off down the holler. And of course, we didn't see anything else, And we run back and tell our parents, y'all, everything. Nobody believed us. But I didn't think of it as a Sasquatch. I thought it was, the first time I seen it, I think it's the devil or something, a demon or something, And then the second time seeing it, didn't really know, I guess, the same thing, the boogeyman or something, But wasn't until later on getting to read some stories and, in books and stuff like that, and got me thinking, okay, maybe I saw a Bigfoot and everything. And then later on, getting older and everything, a few more experiences happening. And, it was like, I really do think I seen a Bigfoot. Now I'm like 99.9% sure that was a Bigfoot that would visit our house. With everything that's happened and starting to discover everything, I have very little doubt that was anything but a Sasquatch.
That's probably our most active area.
Yeah, the thing of it is, we're probably 7 miles. It's between where he had his experience and where I've had my experience, and basically
It's less than 15 minutes drive away.
And it's just one's on one side of the mountain, one's on the other side. I always refer to it as my home place is on the south side of the mountain. His area is over there is on the north side of the mountain. So they definitely had some history there. My family had talked about seeing a creature or some creature up there, but they would never come out and say that it was a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch because, you're crazy if you seen one or anything like that. But, now that it got out there and I put it out that, I don't believe, I know, I don't care if people laugh and make jokes of me or whatever they want to do. I've seen something that I can't explain except for it being a Sasquatch. And so, I've had people who used to laugh at me and stuff now come up and start telling me, well, this is what happened to me when I, such and such. I'm like, oh, really, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
And I listen to them. I'm like, yeah, I think you had a Sasquatch or something there,
It's like, let's go to origin of Bigfoot. I mean, there's so many stories out there. Where do you,
Back to the Native Americans doing further back than that, Those talked about it, wrote about it, seeing a hair-covered creature standing along the shore or something along those lines.
I mean, some people believe they're aliens. Some people believe, there's so many stories out there where they actually came from. Where do you guys believe?
I honestly don't know. I've always kind of leaned more toward a human hybrid of some sort.
Yeah.
Could it be possible alien thing? I don't know. Could it be more, some type of paranormal, with portals and things like that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's far-fetched, but to me. So there are stories also out there about the government studying Bigfoot.
Oh, I firmly believe that. I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, because they're like their camouflage techniques and all that the government was very interested.
Well, that story about the Mount St. Helens, that was pretty interesting too. There's been several people pretty well come out and said the same thing. I don't doubt for a second that they haven't found one somewhere dead. Somebody hadn't hit one for semi truck somewhere up the Pacific Northwest. I mean, I believe.
Yeah,
You know, it's DNA out there that close to human, but not quite human. But it's not no known primates.
and that's what gets me. And like people collect DNA and it comes back pretty much inconclusive.
Yeah.
But no one's still ready to admit that there's another species out there that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Are they just scared? Or
I think you know, they know to not interact with us because what do humans do? I mean, you know, we took over the planet.
Yeah.
You know, look at what we done to other wildlife and stuff like that, and to ourselves. You know, the native populations. I mean, just gets completely wiped out. So, you know, I think they've said, and that's the thing. You know, I used to think of this as more of a North American ape, but man, I don't.
Was brought up more even.
I don't believe that it is. I think it's, you know, either we are looking at extraterrestrial or some kind of hybrid or, you know, something from another dimension, so to speak. You know, I don't know. And really nobody knows because there is no experts in this field, you know. Until we have a specimen to study and everything, there's no experts. So, you know, the door's kind of open to what it could be.
I mean, if you're like the paranormal field, like everybody's an expert, you know, that's the way they think.
Yeah. That's what tickles me. If I'll see stuff on TV, you know, it'll have such and such Sasquatch expert, and I'm like, how can you be a damn expert? And you know, we don't have nothing to say. Yeah, you know, if you are, why ain't you rich enough? You know, why ain't you turned this in yet?
You make a valid point, though. Like the Native Americans, you know, saw Creature too.
Yeah.
Maybe they watched what we did to the Native Americans, and that's why they're not. They're probably like, yeah, we want nothing to do with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they had, if you go with the stories and everything, the Native Americans and most, you know, Native cultures had more of a relationship with them. Some of them, you know, they seen it more as a brother, or you know, you had some that was like, they told their kids, hey, don't be out in the woods dark. You know, this thing will take you, and you know, whether it's eating you for food or whatever.
Yeah, they respected it.
Yeah, they respected it, you know. And the thing of it is it's not to throw it out there, but it's sort of like dragons. And every culture, there is some kind of form of a dragon, and there's also some kind of form of like Bigfoot. And these cultures have been separated by time and distance, so they wouldn't know way they was communicating with each other. So how do you explain that? You know, I mean, I'm not, like I said, you know, I don't know. Maybe one time or another, dragons were around, or maybe they was just, you know, seeing dinosaur bones or something like that. You know, and that's what I don't. But it just tells me that, you know, if you got that throughout history in different cultures, places, you know, there's something to the story, and just after seeing what I've seen and everything, it's okay. I can't say nothing about a dragon, but you know, for me, Bigfoot is very real.
You go back with all the sightings. Not everybody can be wrong.
No.
I mean, you can't, and not everybody's going to be right. You can't say that everybody that said they saw a Bigfoot is correct.
No, there is a lot of identification. Yeah, I'm sure these people had seen something black go through the woods or stand up on two legs. It was a bear, or something brown, was a bear, or
Just a
the
monkey.
butt end of a moose or something, or just seen another person walking through, like with a ghillie suit. But then there's the ones that's like, okay, I seen this thing and it, picked up this tree, or whatever, and just pumped it, and the tree's like, okay, that's too big for a human to move. So
It was like that black bear that charged at me last week. Stood up and walked off for about 3 or 4 steps, standing straight up. I'd never seen that before in my life. But I knew then by looking at how it walked standing upright, what I saw coming off that bank, it wasn't the same.
No.
Not even close.
So the one thing they say that separate like bears and Bigfoot stuff is the smell.
two totally
I'm
different
after
smells.
TV shows. I mean, that's what I watch. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I've smelled what I believe is Sasquatch. I can't say it was a Sasquatch because I never laid eyes on, but I've had this odor that it's sort of undescribable because I haven't found nobody who can describe it down to like, it's all rotten flesh or, wet dog or what, like they don't really sum up exactly the smell of it. It's one of them, once you smell it, you'll know it
yeah.
because it's definitely not a pleasant smell.
No.
It raises and it's very strong at times. It's not like you just get a little whiff here. What was that? I mean, it's pretty rank.
And it hit you
And,
quick, too. I mean, when I got it, just across the road from where I had my encounter on another mountaintop from where somebody else had an encounter. Me and another guy been up there researching, and we was wasted entirely too much time on the way up. When we got there, we had like 10 minutes of daylight left. We stopped long enough to catch our breath, and then that smell hit us. And for us, it was a kind of an ammonia meets skunk meets wet dog, and you could literally taste it.
yeah.
I mean, we were in there dry heaving. And I had no clue what was going on, and he was screaming infrasound, infrasound. They're hitting us, they're hitting us. We got to go. He said, we're too close. We got down off the ridge there about 50 yards to go back and hit the trail, and we kind of stopped and caught our breath for a minute. And we just started walking, and here come that little train through the walls again. And he's like, grab your gun, grab your gun. And I was like, it ain't gonna do no good, because the walls, it wasn't 40 yards apart, but it stopped, and I could see the walls spread apart. But he said it just bluff charged us. Because that was probably my first research outing, really. And I thought, man, what have I got myself into? I done walked into no man's land. But we had two, one on the left and one on the right, walked all the way down that mountain with us till we got down to the exit. And it's not a pleasant smell.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't up here. We don't encounter anything. Not in the mountains. I mean, we're Cleveland, Ohio, a little east, but kind of sounds like my daughter raises goats, and the male goats like they got the long goatee. They like to I guess urinate on their
Yep.
goatee, which attracts, and that's a potent smell too.
Yeah, well, yeah. And the thing of it is we had goats, and I know what you mean with the billy goat and everything, and it was like, no, because one night our goats normally when it got dark they would go into the barn, and then sometimes they come out at night, but most of the time they stayed in there. But then one night they come out and was running all around the yard and everything, and like, okay, there's something up. And I walk out, and the first thing I noticed was the smell, and it wasn't that billy goat. I'm like, God, my, is that a bear around here or something, And I go out to the barn, and just walking up to the barn, I'm starting to get this weird feeling, But there wasn't nothing in the barn, but that smell was just all over the place. And I go back in the house, and everything. And about an hour or so later, I go back out. Now the goats have gone back in the barn, and the smell is gone. What it is, and I've smelled it a few other times, but that night was the strongest I've ever smelled. I don't know if it was something, the goats with the smell that got them up and going, or if something, come by that barn. But whatever it was, it got them riled up pretty good. But it's not a bear smell. I worked with the game department, and I've smelled bears, smelled bear dens, and they're a totally different smell. They're not even close.
So, well, I mean, I'm trying to think. So there's really, I guess, kind of like paranormal. There's no really true evidence, I guess you can say. I mean, there's people out there that say there is evidence of paranormal. Sure, there's Bigfoot people out there that saying there's true evidence of paranormal. I mean, the way I look at it is beyond reasonable doubt. You're always going to have skeptics out there.
Yeah. And I mean, and until we capture a ghost or capture Bigfoot, and everybody sees it, and you got all the big name trusted science or whatever, you're exactly right. There's always going to be skeptic, and there's still going to be skeptic even then until they can walk up and see it themselves,
Yeah. I mean, I believe that, with Bigfoot, that if one was captured, I think the government tried to shut it down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Bottle plays that every release it. I don't believe it.
I mean, for science reasons, plus, it would scare a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, just imagine the panic that would set in. Let's say it's an alien. Okay, now you got another life form that's not human, that's not from this world. So, how did it get here? And, what kind of technology is that going to involve? And what could they do if they come from thousands and thousands upon light years away? Or if you're talking about something that's, from another dimension and can just blink in here and blink out, or if it is another hominid species or something like that, so we share this planet with something that's, and this is my belief, that is smarter than us, just because it took a different, like, evolutionary track, where we rely more on tools, they rely more on their instinct and abilities. They don't need fire. They've learned to live without fire. They don't need, we need shelter to stay warm in the wintertime and stuff like that, where they don't have to. Now, they've learned to listen and live within nature, where man's more against nature. We're trying to conquer nature.
Yeah.
You ever see it released? I mean, for what the logging industry would cease, that would slam it to a halt.
Yeah.
If they're going to designate all this land as a federal refuge to protect the spotted owl, can you imagine what kind of outrage it's going to be to protect all this place that's going to hit into hunting licenses, which is going to hit into revenue for all these other places, the jobs it's going to cost, and plus how they're going to explain it. I mean, they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the UFO thing, with having these UAP hearings in Congress.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a UAP? It's another word for a UFO, but they'll never call it a UFO. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about if, when the UFO stuff came out, how many people went out there and looked for UFOs? I mean,
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they caught a Bigfoot,
Oh,
especially
Yeah.
neck of the woods? How dangerous would that be going out there now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get people shot now. Just imagine everybody going out there, and don't get me wrong. I believe you have a right to guns, but not everybody needs a gun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's some people that just don't have no business being out with a firearm in the woods. That's why we wear blaze orange to go hunting and stuff.
That's the biggest reason why we're not out now.
Yeah.
Is no, I'm not getting shot. I'll wait. Might be colder, but I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys go out. I don't know if you guys carry guns or bear spray, but
Both.
no,
Both.
both. Okay, but yeah, I mean, you guys are taking your guns for protection of other animals. You're not going out there looking to.
No, I have no desire to kill a Bigfoot. Really, like you said, other animals, humans. I mean, we're in a very bad place for making meth, and they can use these national forests and stuff because they know that they can get away back in there, and not many people's going to come around, but you don't know if you're going to pop up on a meth lab or whatever, going on. So you might want to have some protection there. And, bear spray is good for the bears and everything. But at the same time, if I think he's a human out there that's, might be up to something no good, first of all, I'm going to try to probably stay out of that neck of the woods, but you never know around here. Or when these meth labs pop up.
I think I've got a magnet for them. So I'm always carrying.
Yeah. I mean, as a paranormal investigator, I've always wanted to go out, look for Bigfoot. It's just one of those dream things I've always wanted to do. It's just, I guess, a bucket list thing, go out. But I'm more scared of bears and people than I am Bigfoot. Going out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go out by myself. That'd be stupid because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not a hunter. I mean, I do like camping in the woods and stuff. I don't go out and hunt. But, going out.
That's a good way. I mean, just going out and camping and, just opening your mind to, the possibilities of what you hear out there, these things that go bump in the night that ain't Sasquatch, but, there's certain things, especially if you can get with somebody who's been out before, and you hear a weird little noise that sounds sort of like a coyote, but it's not quite a coyote. You might have a Sasquatch, or if you hear some voices where they really shouldn't be voices, or one that gets me is the human whistle. You'll hear a whistle and you're like, that's human.
It wasn't always vocalizations we got down there at the honey hole.
Oh, yeah.
We were surrounded from the time we got out of the truck.
Yeah.
I mean, that place was unbelievable.
I mean, I'm sure you guys watch some of the shows that are out there. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How true are they? I mean, it kind of seems like paranormal. Like they're going out there with all this fancy equipment and all that, and it seems like the Bigfoot shows. I'm not talking about mountain monsters because that's a whole different show there.
Yeah,
But it kind of seems like a lot of downtime compared to what you actually find.
Yeah, I mean, they're running. realistic in a way. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
You
Entertainment.
know, I mean, you know, let's just put it that way. It's a TV show. They are truths into a lot of it, but it's made for entertainment.
Yeah.
You know,
The reality to it, absolutely. You know, but you know, it's like me and Andy talked about many times. If they was two of us doing a TV show, I mean, we're going to split up. There's what? Going to be two cameras on each person.
Yeah.
You're going to have somebody, a safety personnel, tagging along. So you're going to have 5, 6 people with lights, and we expect them to go out and find something that doesn't want to be found. To me, that makes no sense.
they are curious what they are. I mean, that's why I think, you know, for me, the best realistic TV show when dealing with Bigfoot is Survivor Man. You know, he's out there, and you know, he'll tell you he's a skeptic, you know, but you know,
As much as
until he sees one, you know, and for himself, you know. But he's out there and he tries to do his stuff and everything. He listens to different point of views and everything, and you know, and then he'll show you stuff, and he's like, "I'm not telling you it was a Bigfoot." He's like, well, "We don't know what this is. We can't find, you know, a match to the sound. You know, it sounds similar to these, doesn't it sound?" And then he's had the, you know, the telepathy thing, and then you get into that whole part right there where people, oh, come on now, but
that's different stuff to what happens to you.
But yeah, it's one of them things that, you know, people, that's all, you know, I could get on board until you get to something like that. But then when you look at what our own government has done with research, like remote viewing, and the CIA was using people to remote view over in Russia, and they were finding out that, you know, okay, they are missiles here, or you know, something's going on here, and it was these people described it right to a T. Does it happen with everybody? And you know, is it always 100%? No, but they are a few cases where it was. You know, okay, yeah, they had missiles right where you said they was going to have missiles. You know, and other instances stuff. So you know, you get into that world, and there's a lot of rabbit holes with dealing with Bigfoot.
Yeah, definitely a lot. I mean, talking about government conspiracy,
Yeah,
cover up, even.
yeah, yeah.
It's Bigfoot is it's open ended to me.
Yeah.
Well, it really is.
Yeah.
It has feelings, you know, and I think it varies depending on what area you're at. You know, I think they act differently. They seem to be more aggressive up toward the Pacific Northwest, Alaska, especially Alaska. You know, Canadian provinces up that way. You know, you got swamp ape. I mean, there's just so many different variations of them with different. I think they have different temperaments.
Yeah, so I mean, let's talk about like the different names of all the Bigfoots out there. I mean, I think Ohio has skunk ape, something like that.
Florida,
Um,
Ohio has the grass man.
Grassman, okay.
Yeah,
I don't keep track of them all.
yeah.
They vary, or is it just the names that vary?
Just the names, colors. You know, like the skunk ape, more of a red. They're describing more of a reddish color. You know,
You do have different varieties. I mean, as far as, you know, you have some of them who are presented with, like if they do sketches, that have the Jack Lynx type hair, you know, the Sasquatch on there with the long reddish hair. And then you have the patty types that's got the shorter
dark
blackish
hair.
hair and everything. And then, you know, like down in Florida, skunk ape is supposed to be a little bit more shorter in stature. It's still bigger than a human, but it's shorter than say Patty out in Northern California, and then up in Alaska, you're talking about reports of seeing 15-foot tall creatures, and everything. But of course, in colder weather, things tend to be larger.
Yeah.
So, and then across over the world, they are different, but at the same time, it's walks on two legs. It walks like a man, and a lot of people have talked about, it looked, more human than ape, but at the same time, it did have, the whole hair like ape and everything.
It's not just a North American thing, though. You got it, Australia, Nepal, China, Japan. They all have different names for basically the same thing. Russia,
South America. Now, South America is supposed to be a smaller variety too. The I cannot say that, Pingue or something like that.
orangutan.
Yeah. So, you do have it all over the world.
Yep.
That's Antarctica, I reckon.
Yeah.
I guess as investigators, I mean, do you guys mainly just stay in your, I guess, neck of the woods?
Yeah. I mean, we
The little lake years. I mean, we've got some out of state stuff coming up. Early 2026. We're working on doing another one, either hopefully later in 2026 with 3 or 4 more teams. I got to talk to Andy about that because that just kind of come together today. And he's probably sitting there thinking, I have no clue what this guy's talking about because I hadn't got a chance to go over it with him. But there's a team from Florida reached out, and they want to come up sometime in 26 or 27 and do like 2 or 3 more teams come up and kind of do like a big outing somewhere we could pick out. Everybody to go and do some video. Kind of help each other out because they're kind of getting into the Bigfoot cryptid area too. They're more into the ghost, the haunted houses and things like that. We're kind of branching off into this area. So I told them, we'd be taking the death to make that happen.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever want to travel different countries and see what that's all about?
Oh, I'd love to. If I could make a career out of going all over the North America and trying to solve this, dude, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we had a lady that was up in Alaska, was hoping that we could come and, help her out because she is being tormented.
She's doing her.
We have some associates that there's a gentleman that lives up there that he's going to try to get up there. But I would have loved to went up there and everything. I don't know if I would have said the same thing coming back, been like, what, I will never go up there again. But to get out to go and investigate different parts of the world and just getting to different parts of this country.
Yeah.
I'd love to go out and see the big woods out in Pacific Northwest and places and everywhere.
Oh yeah. She's in a little place called Kennedy Lake, Alaska, and I think there might be 90 people there, maybe. And her ass is being a nice word for what that poor gal's getting. I mean, it's rumored that her property one time used to be owned by a cult.
Okay.
So they're thinking, she could have some other things going on besides just Bigfoot and something else that's making. She's got something making 2 different tracks. I told her I think it was Bigfoot and Dogman both. Just got
videos, pictures of orbs and stuff flying around in our house, and you're just like, whoa, you got something going on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Christmas balls just dancing all over the place.
I mean, do you think, because I've heard stories of that too, like with Bigfoot, and it goes along with the paranormal world also.
Yeah.
Certain people have like not attachment, but get more harassed. Do you think Bigfoot feeds off her fear, and that's why?
Not sure. I mean, talking with some people, it seems like some people are more like with the paranormal accepted to it, or it's almost like the mind is more open to things, so maybe it draws things to us. A lot of people, like me, I've seen a black shadow walk through my house. And I just had the feeling that was my grandfather after he passed away. It'd been a long time, but and then I've seen Bigfoot, I've seen UFOs, I've seen orbs, and then these people have never seen. I ain't never seen nothing like that. But it's like, well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you what I've seen. I don't know what I can't
yeah,
tell you exactly what it was, but this is what I've seen.
yeah.
Let's talk about it. You saw it. I mean, because paranormal is the same way. Like you see a shadow, you thought it was your grandfather. It wasn't scary.
Yeah, I mean it stepped up into the doorway, and the shape of it was just like him. And then it turned and went, and just the feeling that come over me at the moment I saw it felt like my grandfather. That was the vibe I got off of it.
So, what would you guys do if you guys are out camping? Step outside your tent middle of the night, and Bigfoot standing there, 5 feet away from you.
You're not going nowhere. I don't care what you say. You can say, well, I'm going to go back to here and get a gun. I'm going to go back in here and I don't think you're going to do anything.
No, probably
Honestly. Probably going to freeze, exactly. The chances are, if you just stepped outside, say, for example, to go relieve yourself, chances are you're going to have a pistol in your hand, not your cell phone.
right.
And, you know,
Pretty sure you're going to relieve yourself right there too. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's probably going to be the whole. I'm probably going to have some kind of body fluid leaked on me, and then it's going to beep 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 because I'm going to be cussing up words I can't say on here.
yeah. So he and I have totally separate objectives on it. He has no desire to ever see another one. And
Especially one with red eyes.
me, on the other hand, I could care less if I see him every time. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, I usually get sometimes, I don't know, I usually get followed no matter where I'm at when I go. You stop, you hear someone else take about 2 steps and stop. You never see it. It never bothers me though. It's just there.
yeah. I mean, we get that in the paranormal too, where people are like, if I see a ghost, they don't want to see a ghost. They don't want to see an apparition. I'm like, then why are you going? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen shadows walk right in front of my face. I've seen spirits come up, and I'm just like, what's up? That's because I've been doing this for 20 years.
Mm.
And,
I have no desire to do that.
yeah,
But I think respect in the world for everybody that does it. Me, no. Me and ghosts, no.
but then
I'll see you afterwards.
I've seen people like a bump happens behind them, and they run out of the building.
Oh, I probably know. Guaranteed. I'd make a door.
I mean, if you stepped down and saw Bigfoot, I mean, you're like, me, my personality, be like, what's up, dude? I mean, that'd be the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And we'll just go from there. I'm like, how should we do?
Y'all are 5 feet away, you ain't gonna have much of an option.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, what's up? And hopefully he's cool.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I go back to I seen that with the red eyes, and it scared me. And I mean, even to this day, I've told Jeff, if I see red eyes, I don't know, I may die of a heart attack. But at the same time, it's like you was talking about with the ghosts and everything and apparitions. I'm more calmer with dealing with that than seeing. But I also think it has a lot to do with watching too many of those killer Bigfoots and stuff movies and everything.
Well,
If I was to see something now, I think I could handle it better as long as they ain't got red eyes.
But I mean, but who knows? I mean, what you saw is probably just a hopefully curious Bigfoot. I mean, they could just be curious.
it's never bothered them, The only thing, the only aggression that we've had toward us out in the field was this summer, when we found that really good spot we call the honey hole. Each one of us had a rock thrown behind us about 20 yards.
Yeah.
And you had that, I had that feeling. If you go back and watch the video, part 3 of it, there toward the end of it, I say, okay, I get it. We're going. Don't kill me yet. I had that vibe that was telling me, all right, you've been here too long. It's time to leave.
Maybe not showing aggression, but just telling you you're in my area.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sort of like walking in somebody else's house, If you're invited, that's sort of one thing. But if you walk in somebody's house, they're going to be like, what are you doing here? Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Well, you show up uninvited for one.
No.
And you just keep poking, keep walking a little further and deeper. And they finally had enough of it. I think because you hear on the video, and he said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard it." I mean, they wouldn't make no mistake in what it was.
I mean, you did the right thing, when you felt uncomfortable or knew it was your time to leave.
Yeah, but then we backed out 100 yards and went and sat down at that old abandoned picnic table.
Yeah.
And we just went down there and sat for 10, 15 minutes, and you could watch the shadows, the light up there where we were at. You just watched the light just fade in the darkness.
Yeah.
You just tell, there's something up there where we were just at.
Yeah.
What it was, I don't know. I got some wild pictures from a couple of places, but I can't explain it.
I mean, we do that in a paranormal too. When we're in investigation, I believe 90% plus are just spirits that want to talk to you. They're friendly. I mean, majority aren't evil. But when you get that feeling of like, I'm invading your space and you want me out, just step out.
Yeah.
Too many people that push the limits.
Yeah.
Like you push that limit that night, Jeff. What do you think would have happened?
Yeah.
I think I would probably have either my third chase out, which with my knees, wouldn't have been very good for me, or they may have attacked us. You don't know. They could have hit us. They could have threw a rock and hit us this time. You don't know what's going on. Yeah. But I wasn't scared. It was just okay. I got it. It's time to go. And we just went down there and sat. Because I told Andy, I said, let's just go down here and sit. Because I don't want to show that we were up to something. And we immediately just went back, jumped in our vehicle, and peeled out. I want to go back down there and sit, let them see, all right, these guys are cool. They wasn't here to bother nothing. They just, we're going to watch them, make sure they leave.
That's it. Hi, Andy, question here. You're out there again, you see the Sasquatch with red eyes. Besides having a heart attack, what are you doing? I mean, what's your feelings about that?
I know I'm going to be afraid.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that. But I'm also curious. I'm also curious because I hope this time at least I can get that whole better look at it as far as, okay, what do you look like exactly in the face? Is it more ape? Is it more human? Or is it, And or is it just going to be okay? I spot them and then just kill over. I don't know.
I want to find out. I mean, for me, that's my ultimate goal is just, be walking down the trail and have one just step out,
Yeah, I mean, you don't ever want to experience that again, Andy, but you're still going out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm still going out,
I'm curious. It's like I said, I know they're out there, but it's also I have those still. I want to know what it is. I want to know. I want to know more. But I do have those. I think it'd be okay as long as it wasn't red eyes looking at me. And that was the whole thing, because I mean the shape of it, it blocked the whole window and everything. So typical windows, what about 30 some inches wide? I think 36 inches wide is what we measured up there.
Yeah,
And so the shoulders blocked out the window and everything, and and then I'm like, okay, now I want to see you out here, with a better look, but I don't know. I don't think I want to be that close to it again because I mean I was probably less than 5 feet away from it when it was peeking in. But again, it was curious. I have no doubt it was looking in at what it's probably looking at what's these things doing. What do they do in there? What what's a human habitat, a home? The whole thing. I think they have personalities like we do in a way. Some people are just kids and cut up and everything and then play practical jokes on you. I've been out in the woods and I know they messed with us. One time another fellow, same mountain, he wanted to go out because we'd watch Mountain Monsters, and, well, I love that show, but that does not give a good representation of people who research Bigfoot or anything. But we go out there and walk in there, and there's some owls a hooting, and I start hooting back, and then the next thing you know, it sounded like two chimpanzees up on top of the two different ridges, and the noise is starting to come closer towards us. And I'm starting to freak out, like, okay, something coming. And I wasn't quite expecting that. And then it gets so close and they stop. You don't hear nothing. But everything got deadly quiet around there. And I had some night vision binoculars that was working just fine until that happened. And then afterwards, when we got out of the woods, because that's when I took it's time to go, and get back to the truck. My night vision binoculars working fine again. So, it's like, okay, there's more to stuff happening than just something walking through the woods,
People in the areas where we're researching, they blow their minds as to how close it is to human activity.
And you brought a good thing up, and we do this too. Fear. I mean, I think fear and respect go hand in hand when you're dealing with unknown.
Yeah.
If you don't fear
it, better.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. If not, you may be believing pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Because if not, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, well, we're an hour into this already, but.
Oh,
yeah. Anybody that wants to go out, investigate, I don't know if you guys say investigate or hunt Bigfoot, whatever you guys call it.
We just call it. We call
it or research.
Research. Yeah. I just call it research.
So with all the TV shows out there and everything, everybody wants to go do this now. What's a couple tips you would give them someone like me who's never done it before?
Go out.
Don't go out at dark, or you're really wasting your time.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't see nothing, so you don't know what you're walking into. You know, I mean, you can take your lights and everything, but we've all been out at dark, flashlight. How far does that light really help you? Just where that light is. Now, I'm not saying don't go out dark, you know. It's like I said, go camping, you know, sit around your campfire, act normal, but pay attention to what's happening around you, you know. That's one thing. I also, one tip, don't expect stuff to happen like it does on TV, you know. Uh, Calling's another thing, you know, the whole whooping and yelling and everything like that. If you go to a different country and start trying to speak a language that you don't understand, you think it's going to go really well?
No.
No. And that's exactly like if you're trying to communicate with a Bigfoot. What are you telling him? You might be telling Bigfoot, you know, might be cussing him out, or you might be telling him that you're a hot Bigfoot woman and ready for loving.
Yeah.
In either case, you don't want either one of them.
No.
But, you know, the main thing I would say is, you know, just go out and pay attention, you know, to stuff. You watch your TV shows and, you know, look for weird looking trees because, you know, we notice tree breaks, but, you know, weather, yeah, of course weather does it. But then there's times where there's a tree break where it's been twisted around so much, and you're like, there's no way weather can do that. That's, you know, pay attention to that. Also, pay attention to, you know, you might get that whip of something like, what was that? What is that? And just listen to your sixth sense because that's what has helped us the most is just picking up on vibes. You know, you know, I'm getting a weird vibe from this place, and you walk in there, and then we start finding something, or we'll start hearing something. You know, and sometimes it just may be bear going through the woods or something. You know, oh okay, you know. But then there's other times that we're out there and you hear a voice. You can't hear the words. You can't make out exactly what the words, but you hear somebody talking. And you go around and there's nobody there. You know? What made that?
No.
I think another thing what I do is just go out and not try to find them. You know, I've done a ton of research on the site and just looked on the internet, areas close to me that had sightings. And I just started doing leg work. I just started walking, you know, and I was always told by a Native American friend of mine, you know, don't go out looking for Bigfoot. Let Bigfoot come to you because you're not going to find them unless they want you to find them. And she said, if you see one, she said, you know, we believe that you were chosen for something, that there's a reason for you seeing it. So for me, I just go out and I'm just looking for evidence of where they've been. I look for arches, I look for X's, I look for different tree structures. And then I will go until I get that feeling of, okay, you went too far today, time to go home. And then I try to, and I'm always able to go back further from where I was at the last time when I got stopped. Just because I don't push it. You know, I just turn around and leave. Yeah. I've never had to draw my gun out. I've never had to pull my bear spray out. You know, I just go in with an open mind. Plus I realize that I'm walking into somebody else's house. And I just try to be as quiet as I can and just try to listen. But when the woods go quiet, and there's nothing. When the volume turns off, you better pay attention because you're not alone.
No.
And don't run because it's not going to do you any good.
So you kind of say, because like a lot of TV shows, I think Expedition Bigfoot, they do the tree knocking a lot. And
That, and we've had responses to it.
Yeah.
But it's something that we do every time we go out. We've just done it this last time. Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's probably the second time that we've ever done any type of call. But the first time was your place.
Yeah.
So we really do it. You know, we do it for a new area. If it's a place we're trying to see if there's anything in there, we'll go up. We're going to be trying to do some more things at night. Not really researching, but just kind of going to an area that we want to research. Set up our parabolic mics, do some call blast, and we'll just kind of see if we can get an answer. And then go back in the daytime and see what we can find.
I mean, it kind of sounds like you just want to make Bigfoot curious about you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's basically it. Just get Bigfoot to, you know, be more like wanting to check us out. Like, what's these fools doing or whatever, you know? I mean, it's just most of what action or whatever you want to call it, encounters or whatever. I've just been out doing normal stuff that normally, you know, like had something happen one time deer hunting, and then, you know, another time just going out and checking on my tree stands. Wasn't looking, you know, it's just happened, you know. And, you know, the times I have went out more or less, you know, tried to do tree knocking or Bigfooting or squatching or whatever you want. Nothing ever happened, you know. It's just go out, enjoy nature, but pay attention.
This last time we got one response back on a vocalization. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's not something that we do a lot of. Most of it we just go out and it's boots on the ground, you know, and looking around and taking pictures of what we find. But we don't ever try to tell anybody, hey, this is what this is and this is what that means. We're just taking pictures and letting people see it and let them make up their mind for themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what we do. I mean,
yeah,
you're not going to convince everybody, but there are some there.
there's no use of trying.
I mean, you guys get to go out, check out nature, and it's fine.
Exactly.
I mean, we talked about going to different countries, and obviously, paranormal investigator, we want to go different countries too. But if we don't get anything, like you guys, you're out in the woods. I mean, we go to these historical places. If I don't get anything, it's fine. I'm visiting a historical place. It's beautiful. So.
Oh yeah, that's the same way. I mean, anytime we can get out just to be out in the woods, because we just got good old country boys down when it comes down to it. You know, we love being out in the mountains and the woods and everything. You know, and just in fact enjoying that. We had one spot that we thought for sure we was going to get because the history of the place. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in there that, you know, not only just what you would call Bigfoot stuff, but just, you know, strange stuff happening. And we really didn't get nothing in there, but it wasn't a disappointment at all. It was just, you know, like, okay, we were expecting more, but didn't get it. But that doesn't mean that, you know, we could go back there another day and could be hammered because the history of the place says something's going to happen there.
Yeah. Plus, you know, another thing, we did not get exactly where we wanted to go. You know, and we were close. But, you know, like I said, his home area, you know, is just, it's probably the most active spot we've got, really. I mean, he had tree structures and arches within 200 yards of that old house.
Yeah, after this hurricane, it's done a lot of damage. I mean, the rivers and stuff that came through. Well, I mean, when Helene, the remnants or whatever, come through, it changed some stuff in these mountains. It brought a lot of timber down. There's a lot more areas to be, easily to hide. I mean, if you was wanting to stay hidden but keep an eye on something, there's a lot more stuff to hide now.
And the activity has increased.
Priest.
Yep.
Are you guys seeing that a lot with the logging and, a lot of more houses being built up, kind of like, deer and bears are moving into other places?
We don't really get it.
Yeah, I mean, the black bear population in Virginia has exploded, and the deer population is good. But where we're at is, we're seeing the population of people leave. They're heading to where there's more jobs at, and everything. And, you do get a few new houses built here and there and everything, but there's a lot of places that they ain't people living at that they used to be. And I think these Sasquatches are moving into that. It's like up there at my home place. I honestly believe there was a barrier once where, not a physical barrier, so to speak, but it was more like, okay, that's y'all's, this is ours. And I feel now they're coming closer to what used to be considered ours, where you might have a curious one or whatever looking, peep in a window or walk by, at a time or something. Now, I think they're more right on top of that place. It may be go up there and you have something happen every night now or, whatever, but it's definitely seems to be picking up a lot more.
Plus, they're following the deer, and the deer's all coming down low to the crops, the cornfields and, the alfalfa patches and things like that. So, they're following the food, and so, the food's been all down low, from what because I've been at top of the mountains, in the middle, down on the bottom, I've seen more activity on the lower side of the mountains, but much closer to people than what I saw when I first started. It's completely the polar opposite.
Yeah, it don't. I mean, that's the thing that we've discovered, or around here at least, is you'd be surprised in how close to people you find stuff. I mean, it's basically right in backyards or a very popular place like a park that, they's we're not talking like a Yellowstone where you have, a lot of wilderness in there. I mean, it's wilderness, but then, this is a park where there's trails running through there that, there's a lot of people on and everything at a time, but seems like when things die down at night, they're moving around in there. They're doing stuff, and and it surprised you because just be like, yeah, right over there behind your house is see this tree about like a 2-liter pop bottle that's been threw up into another tree, and it's like you can't find where the tree that's up there, you can't find where it come from. You know what I'm saying? There's no hole in the ground, there's no stump or nothing like that, and you're like, how did that tree get there? It don't match none of the trees around there. But yet, it's 25 foot up in the air. Human didn't do that.
No.
So what did?
There's so much about it we don't know. I mean, that's the whole reason why, I keep going out is just trying to find something different every time I go. Trying to learn something more.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like investigation wise, going out, looking for Bigfoot, doing paranormal. It's the same concept, respect, going out there.
Absolutely.
Try to find answers. I mean,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. And you guys are doing it right. You're going out there respectfully. I mean, you just want answers. I mean, Andy wants to face his fear a little bit, find out what happened when he was younger. You're going out, try to find out everything.
Absolutely.
Both of you guys are. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, we get that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go, you know, especially if we're getting stuff. First of all, our mindset is that we're going in there, you know, we're thinking it.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't mean no harm or nothing. We're just, you know, we're here, you know, we're in here and everything. And then, you know, we'll also say it while we're out there. Hey, we don't mean no harm to you. We're not here to do anything to you. You know, Jeff wants to see you. I got my own things, you know, but we don't want to cause no harm. And if you tell us, you know, you show us, hey, it's time for y'all to leave, we're leaving.
Yep. We'll come back another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do the same thing. As soon as I walk in a house, I let them know that I'm just a visitor there. It's their place.
Yep.
We're just looking for answers. If you want to give some answers, because the stories are always different.
Yeah.
You know, tell the truth. If he wants to leave, do something. We'll leave.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
again, it's all about respect, no matter where you're at. And
Exactly.
I mean, it should be everywhere in life, not just.
I agree.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I always say respect is something that's dying in this country. So
Yeah.
it is what it
I
is.
agree.
It's a whole other rabbit hole we don't want to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to lose too many followers talking about that stuff. So
No.
no, it's all good. So we're an hour, 15 minutes. I like to keep around an hour. Again, C.I.A. Cryptic Investigations of Appalachia. You guys want to follow them? Facebook? You guys have YouTube or anything?
Yep. Same thing.
Same thing.
TikTok.
Yeah. Tell them the TikTok address, Andy. What it is on TikTok.
Yeah, it's follow them, see what it's all about. If you're interested, try to get a hold of them. I mean, if you have questions,
Please reach out.
Yeah.
One day I like to make it down, I guess, down there, and you guys can teach me the right way to do this.
Come on down.
Yeah. Or we can never get a chance to come up that way. I mean, you do got maybe not up in Cleveland, but you got the Ohio grass, man.
Yeah, I don't know where that's at, actually. And probably,
Perry County, Ohio.
I mean,
And the Big Muddy. I'm a little confused on the Big Muddy. Sometimes it sounds like they're talking about a Sasquatch, and then it sounds like they're talking about something else. But I would like to check that out.
I think is that the one they call Momo, the Missouri Monster?
Yeah.
Missouri Monster? I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah.
I think that's what. I think they call it Momo for short.
Yeah. You guys come up, or if you guys are up here doing investigation in Ohio, reach out to me. I'll drive on down.
Sure. Hey, we like to, you know, go out and with you and get some pointers on you too. They go hand in hand, man.
You go right ahead. I'll stand outside the house and I'll wait it by the truck.
I was going to say, I don't think Jeff's going to the house.
Sorry.
It just lets you know they're not limited. They can walk through walls. So
yeah, but, you know.
You just be fine enough to keep the truck running, right?
Yeah, I'll make sure the truck stays running and the heater stays on.
Okay.
And if you ever want to call up and investigate some ghosts, or if I want to come down there, I'll let you know. We can hit it up. So
absolutely, come on down.
Yeah, glad to have you.
Appreciate for you two coming on.
Well, thank you for having us.
We greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Obviously, more questions and answers, like always in every podcast that I do.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very, very cool what you do. Again,
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Again,
same to y'all too.
Yeah. Just I hate ending shows. I say this every show, but again, thank you. Follow them on social media. I'll put their stuff in the comments tomorrow so you can click on their links. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I can reach out to them or vice versa. And keep going and get that research done.
All right. Same to you.
The truth is out there somewhere.
Yes, it is.
You just got to find it.
You guys have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.